A week has passed since Na Seon-wook took over control as the head of the first year and became Captain 99. And everything is going peacefully. Everyone is getting along with everyone and bullying has gone down by a lot. In fact, we are seeing that nerdy kids are being given attention by others instead of getting bullied like how they usually would. We also see Park Suzy, who is still after Na Seon-wook, come to the first-year classroom to talk with him. Suzy calls him honey and asks Na Seon-wook if he has any plans for the day. Na Seon-wook doesn't reply as usual, but Park Suzy keeps getting closer and closer to him, asking if he wants to join her for a karaoke session. And finally, she asks Na Seon-wook if he wants to join her at a love hotel room in an attempt to seduce him. However, Na Seon-wook isn't one to be seduced, so he swiftly declines the offer, saying that he has an appointment to attend to. Park Suzy is curious and asks Na Seon-wook what kind of appointment it is. She also turns on her serious mode for a bit, asking with a stern face if Na Seon-wook has a meeting with a girl. If so, she wants to know who it is that is in her path. Na Seon-wook tells her that he has an appointment to study, which calms things down a bit, but it angers Park Suzy again when Na Seon-wook says that he has a study session with Kang Minju. Park Suzy is mad, but upon seeing the needy and introverted vibes of Kang Minju from afar, she doesn't feel threatened and tells him it is fine to go on and study with her. However, she asks Na Seon-wook when he is going to go out with her and play with her, to which the Captain 99 says that he will do so tomorrow. However, Jang Young, who interferes in this conversation and tells Park Suzy that he is sorry to inform her that Na Seon-wook will be playing with them tomorrow instead of her. This really angers Park Suzy, as she tells Jang Young that she doesn't want to listen to anything from him and that if he ever tries to talk to her again, it will mean serious business. Jang Young, who is a bit taken aback after she behaves with him in this manner. The scene changes and we see Na Seon-wook and Kang Minju walk together after the day at school. They walk together, but there's a sense of quietness between them, which is broken off by Kang Minju when she asks Na Seon-wook if it is okay for them to walk together and study together. Na Seon-wook is confused by this and he asks why. Kang Minju explains that them doing this together might cause misunderstandings among people, and further on, it might make Park Suzy uncomfortable as well. This once again doesn't register with Na Seon-wook, who doesn't see an issue with this. There's a sense of sadness in the way Kang Minju says this, but she says that she is just Na Seon-wook's study tutor after all. But in a rare moment of Na Seon-wook showing his emotions, we see him suddenly pat Kang Minju and tell her that she is cute. This obviously makes Kang Minju blush a lot, and this makes her happy, so they go on to study at a nearby cafe. It's English day for Kang Minju and Na Seon-wook today, and so we see Kang Minju tutoring him in English. She teaches him some basic English phrases and how it could be used in daily life. However, she sees that Na Seon-wook is tired and is yawning, so Kang Minju tells him that they've studied enough for the day, as it is already getting late and they both have more work to do. Na Seon-wook agrees and tells her to get going as he gets up to leave. Kang Minju opens her bag to see all the medications and band-aids she had bought for Na Seon-wook when he was hurt. However, she didn't have the required courage to give it to him. Now, however, she sees a good opportunity to do so, so she goes ahead, brings them out, and gives them to Na Seon-wook, who asks what those are. Then Kang Minju explains that she bought these things for him when he got injured. Na Seon-wook tells her that he has all these medications as they were given to him by Suzy. This upsets Kang Minju a little bit, who starts recollecting the stuff she brings out, but Na Seon-wook, who takes in all of RHE medications from her and says that he will remember to take them when necessary. This brings the smile back to Kang Minju's face. On the other hand, we see 3 of Park Ki-duk's lackeys trying to contact Park Ki-duk, but to no avail. It seems like Park Ki-duk has disappeared almost. One of the guys from the group suggested that why don't they just join up with Na Seon-wook and his squad, because after all, Na Seon-wook is different from Park Ki-duk and they could live the way they wanted to. However, the other guy shut this down, stating that they'll never be able to do the things they want outside of Park Ki-duk's reign. Just as he is about to say more, a guy runs into him and hurts his arm. This changes their attention and we see that the guy and his crew are angry because of it. The boy with the afro tries to apologize and move on, but they don't want that. They try to go away after this, but the older guys stop them, and this angers the boy with the afro, but his friends make him understand that fighting won't help them. So the boy with the afro apologizes again, only for the older guys to get to their face and start bullying them more. One of the other guys tries to come in and apologize, but he is punched straight in the face by the guy who ran into them first, saying that he doesn't want someone else to apologize. This in turn also angers the Afro boy, who starts fighting with the older guys because of it. However, he is no match for the older kids, and they take him down quickly and are about to stomp him viciously. With no option left to go with, he sees a brick and tries to go and attack his opponents with the piece of brick, but it doesn't work out. To save the day, however, comes Sudako. Dako comes in, politely asks them to create separation as he has called the police, and as this goes on, Sudako then threatens the older guys, saying that if they don't leave peacefully, he will show them what he can do to them. We learn that Sudako had no interest in this fight and wouldn't even interfere in it. However, when he saw that one of the kids was trying to use a brick to save himself and how that could go very wrong, he decided to intervene. We then see that one of the kids thanks Sudako for helping them out, and Sudako tells them to forget about it and go back home. Then all three of the Park Ki-duk squad members bow down and thank Sudako for what he did for them, but Dako doesn't pay attention and goes on ahead. Then the Afro kid notices that Dako is leaving, and he remembers a valuable thing that was said to him, that being, don't ever do anything that you'll end up regretting. And so to not have any regrets, he calls out Sudako and then sincerely thanks Sudako for what he did for him. Sudako is a bit taken aback by this, and he can't quite express how he feels about this except for the fact that he feels like an old man because of it. Right then, Sudako's boss from work calls him and tells him to get back on shopping duty because work's at a restaurant, and Sudako obliged. The trio then also decide to go home for the day. They text each other that they'll be looking for Park Ki-duk soon, and etc. when the Afro kid sees the same bullies who were after him a few minutes back were standing in a narrow alley, but this time they were teasing a white-haired girl. It seems like the Afro-haired knows who this young girl is. He says that he told her not to bring any guys near their house. However, he quickly notices that the girl didn't bring the guys along with her. Instead, the guys were forcefully teasing her, asking her out for a drink among other things. The girl is against this, as she tells them not to do this over and over again, but the guys keep teasing her regardless. At one point, the bullies are annoyed by the girl's constant protection of herself, and the main bully decides to hit her to teach her a lesson on how to act with a guy. As the guy is about to slap her, Afro Kid jumps right in the spot to take the slap for her and save her. The girl is surprised as she doesn't understand where did the Afro Kid come from, but the Afro Kid is here to save her. The main bully notices the guy and recognizes him from before and goes after him to attack him, labeling him as a stalker. However, the kid says that he has already called the police and they'll be coming soon. This angers the main bully as he won't fall for the same trick twice, and he responds to this with a thunderous straight punch which sends the Afro Kid back a few yards. This makes the white-haired girl go into panic as she calls the Afro Kid a crazy jerk. However, her behavior, alongside the Afro Kid's behavior, is getting on everyone's nerves. So the main bully rushes towards the girl and loads up his fist to deliver a similar kind of punch to her. However, Afro Kid gets up and interrupts again, resulting in the bully changing directions and deliver an improvised hook to him instead, which sends him down to the ground. The main bully then approaches Afro Kid again before delivering another jaw-shattering hook to send Afro Kid down again. And this time, he starts raining attacks on the Afro Boy as well. Afro Boy, like before, also sees a way out of it, this time with a rock. He plans on using it to finish off the bully for good, but he remembers the valuable words from before, the ones that told him not to do anything that he will regret, so reluctantly enough he has to give up on that plan. Just at that moment, a policeman strolling by spots the beatdown taking place, and he quickly comes running over to stop it. The bullies use this chance to escape. The policeman then attends to Afro Kid and picks him up, for which the Afro Kid thanks the policeman. This shocks the white-haired girl as she can't believe that Afro Kid is now able to thank people. Afro Kid tells her to not make fun of her and just go to where they are supposed to go. Afro Kid then asks her to make some food for him in exchange for him helping her out. Later on at the school, we see that Afro Kid, whose name is Diakgu, meets up with his two other friends, and they talk about how Diakgu ran into those same bullies again later, and Diakgu tells them how he has a very crappy luck, which is why he always manages to get into trouble. Just then, their crew notices that Na Seon-wook and his squad are coming through, and in order to show respect they step aside and close their eyes. Diakgu in particular is very scared and hopes that Na Seon-wook goes by quickly. However, upon opening his eyes, he sees Na Seon-wook standing very close to him. Seeing Na Seon-wook's face gives him a jump scare. However, Na Seon-wook is there to tell him that they don't need to step aside and make way for them because after all they're friends, and friends don't do that for other friends. Na Seon-wook then notices the bandages on Deok-goo's face and asks him who had caused these to him. Deok-goo lies and says that it was due to him falling downstairs, but Na Seon-wook doesn't believe him. He keeps getting closer and closer to Deok-goo while asking the same question as before. Deok-goo keeps denying it before Na Seon-wook shouts Jae at his face for some reason. Deok-goo is shocked and asks what Jae means, to which Na Seon-wook shouts even louder this time. Na Seon-wook then says that he will take care of the guy who caused such harm to his friend. Deok-goo once again says that it was caused by a fall down from the stairs. Na Seon-wook then asks Deok-goo if he brushed his teeth earlier in the morning. Despite being a weird question, Deok-goo answers saying that he didn't brush. This makes Na Seon-wook scream again. Then Deok-goo checks to see that everyone else is on board too, as Na Seon-wook once again declares that he will take care of whoever that causes harm to his friends in any way. Then we see the entirety of the crew, including Deok-goo and his two friends, walk down the busy streets of the area to look for the bully who had caused trouble to Deok-goo and his friends. The situation is serious, and right then, Hwang In-sim asks for everyone's attention. After getting it, he asks everyone if they've heard it. Everyone is visibly and rightfully confused about this. Jang Young who asks what it is about, and Hwang In-sim replies by saying that it's about the sound of his youthful blood boiling and how it is getting very hot. Everyone is cringed out by this, but Hwang In-sim is really in the mood for some fun today. While messing around, Hwang In-sim finds a beautiful Nuna, which is a way to refer to women older than you, standing by the side of the street. Ever the simp, Hwang In-sim goes to approach her and asks her if she's free or not. However, the woman is very much disgusted by Hwang In-sim's appearance and behavior, so much so that she cusses him out and calls him an ugly loser. She also can't believe how someone as peculiar as Hwang In-sim would have the courage to approach her. And to put the final nail in the coffin, she says that looking at Hwang In-sim makes her want to puke. Hwang In-sim is devastated after getting berated like that, and his friends can't believe how stupid he is for trying what he tried. Meanwhile, we see Deok-goo telling Na Seon-wook that he doesn't have to do so much for them as it's not that big of a deal. Even Deok-goo's friends tell him that it's not that big of a deal, and that even if they try to search here, there is no guarantee that they'll actually find him. Na Seon-wook ignores the request and instead tells Deok-goo that he would like to go somewhere nice after they're done with this thing. Then we see that Deok-goo is speechless for a bit. Na Seon-wook notices this and asks Deok-goo if something is wrong, to which Deok-goo points at the nearby bar and says that the bullies who they are looking for just went inside. Na Seon-wook then tells everyone to get ready, and all of them are, except for maybe In-sim, who is too heartbroken and growls to hype them up as they march towards the bar. Upon arriving to the door, Na Seon-wook and crew are stopped by the bouncers of the bar, telling them that they can't enter the bar as they're students. Na Seon-wook tells them that they're looking for someone, but the bouncers don't care. They say that it's none of their business whether they're looking for someone or not. Then at that moment, Na Seon-wook uses his special technique. His eyes glow and become yellow like that of a tiger as he uses the sexy tiger eyes technique to tell the bouncers to move out of the way. And surprisingly enough, this technique works, as the people who look at the sexy tiger eyes are immediately encapsulated by its beauty. This shocks everyone at the bar, and they go in ahead to find the bullies who attacked Deok-goo. We see that the bullies are inside a room, consuming alcohol and flirting with girls while they're at it. The main bully brags to his girl about him meeting that weird guy again yesterday and how he totally beat him to a pulp and left him incapacitated. The girl finds this very funny. However, her and everyone else chokes on their mug of alcohol as they see the creepy image of Na Seon-wook checking them out from behind the door. Na Seon-wook then slowly enters the room and checks out stuff, and the main bully asks him just who the heck he is, and then he sees that a very injured Deok-goo and guesses that it is the guy from yesterday who he had beaten up badly, and he assumes that he has told his friends in hope of getting some sweet revenge. The bully calls Deok-goo a stupid idiot and makes more fun of him. Na Seon-wook says that he doesn't really want anything from these guys, and that he is willing to leave if he apologizes right now. This makes the bullies laugh, and especially the main bully's girl, who laughs at it and says that it is a joke. This pisses off the 99 Captain Na Seon-wook, as he tells her that it's none of her business and that should not stick her nose into it. He says that whole using the sexy tiger eyes, so the girl immediately listens to his order and falls for the tiger eyes. This bothers the main bully, who bangs the mug onto the table before getting up. He starts cussing out loudly and starts approaching Na Seon-wook, who is unbothered by all this. Still cussing, the bully gets closer to Na Wook, and Na Wook just asks him a simple question. He said that he just wants a basic apology from them. Is it really that hard to do it? He asks. This angers the bully beyond limits as he loads up a huge punch and is about to attack the stomach area of Na Wook. However, Na Wook pulls out another special technique of his from the bag of tricks. It's called the strong and sturdy body. Stomach. Na Wook gardens his stomach for it to become like rock-hard abs, and upon punching there without proper technique, the bully's wrist snaps in two, injuring him and making him cry. Na Wook then turns back to Deok-gu and tells him that it seems like the bullies won't apologize after all. And now, as Deok-gu's friend, Na Wook and the rest of the first years can make a move on his behalf to discipline these guys. After all, a friend's blood is equivalent to his own blood to Na Wook. A friend is to him a colleague, a brother, and his own family. Deok-gu takes a deep breath and asks why is Na Wook doing so much for someone like him, who is nothing but a brat and has gone against them in the past. What's so good about him for them to do so much for him, he asks. Deok-gu then tells Na Wook that he has never seen a boss of a group who is so dumb and sentimental. Before he puts his fist forward and thanking Na Wook for everything he has done and finally acknowledges Na Wook as his boss. Na Wook has a faint smile on his face after hearing all this, and he also puts his fist forward to fist bump Deok-gu. After that, Na Wook asks Deok-gu if he has any idea on what they, as a group, want to do next going forward. Deok-gu smirks, and then both Na Wook and Deok-gu say in unison that from now on, they'll start guiding people in the correct way and teach them to make the right choices only. After a great moment of bonding and brotherhood between Deok-gu and the leader of the first year, Na Wook, Na Wook now changes his focus back on to the bully who is making Deok-gu's life worse. The bully is already messed up from punching Na Wook in the stomach when Na Wook was using his special stomach hardening technique. Now the bully is left with a broken wrist, and ahead of him is a pissed-off mammoth of a man in Na Wook. Na Wook stands there as the apex predator. His presence is unmatchable. Men fear him and women find him ridiculously sexy. He is irresistible. Hwang and Sim and the rest also come in to take a peek to see what's happening in the room. They understand that the guiding to the right path has already began. The bully is getting pissed off by all that is transpiring, so he starts cussing at Na Wook again, calling him crazy and whatnot. Na Wook is stoic as ever though. He stands tall and tells the bully that he already gave him a chance to attack as hard as he could have, but the bully ruined that chance. The bully is getting annoyed by the trash talking and asks Na Wook if he has any idea as to who he is, but Na Wook doesn't care and just tells him to shut up and not be a nuisance to others. The bully asks Na Wook where he comes from and threatens to take his life for the things that he is doing, but Na Wook isn't one to fear threats, as he tells the guy that it doesn't even matter where he comes from when the fault is his and not Na Wook's, all while looking down upon him like a pest. As the situation gets more and more tense, Na Wook says to the bully that even if one can't live a life of righteousness and virtue, they can at least try to be harmless to other people and stick to their own business. Na Wook then tells the bully that this will be the start of a new chapter of his life when a loud shout is heard. "Where are you, Jinsu?" asks an unknown voice to the delight of the bully. Hwang and Sim and Ko look at the back to see that tons of people in corporate suits have arrived and surrounded them. They wonder who they are and if there's some gang or not. The bully says Na Wook and his boys are done for now, as we see an intimidating man walking through the horde of people while looking for Jinsu. He pushes aside everyone in his path and asks Hwang and Sim and Ko who they are as he makes his appearance felt. It's Gukkyang School's graduate 1994's Manhwa. The guys are all scared by him as they realize that this guy is a graduate from their school and is from 1994. They realize that they're done for, and some even plan on getting on their knees to apologize, but it's false hope because that won't work in front of a 1994 graduate. Manhwa asks everyone where they're from and gets more and more irritated as people don't answer him. Manhwa then cusses out and they're forced to answer saying that they're just people who are passing by. Manhwa tells them that if that's the case, then they should just pass by and leave his path. He is in a bad mood and he won't take crap from anyone. The goons are also getting excited by this as they crack their knuckles and prepare for an all-out beatdown. Jang Young, who assesses the situation and concludes that they can't afford to make a mistake now, as making one will make the situation even worse than it is now, and they gotta wait for the boss order to do everything. Na Wook comes out of the room, and everyone has their trust on him. Whether that be Gu, who is ready to fight for him, or Huang and Sim, who is ready to sacrifice himself for the rest of the team, they all are waiting for what Na Wook has to say. This makes Na Wook feel good, and he smiles a bit before saying that words won't be enough to fight this battle. Na Wook says that they have to be careful not to make any mistakes and take out the goons first before anything else. They can't hold back and need to go all out to win this one. After that, he shouts "I," like he always does, and everyone else in the group responds with an "I" as well. The goons of Manhwa look on menacingly as the young guys get ready to fight them, but Manhwa doesn't like the calculated approach and tells his men to get ready and gear up to fight these guys, as they're not even part of a gang. They're just normal school kids. And so the goons get fired up and make a run to attack Na Wook and the first years of Gukyang School first. Whereas our boys don't hold back either and go ahead to take on the evil gang head-on with no fear. However, unexpectedly, a door opens up in the hallway and one of Manhwa's goon gets taken out by the door. And the man who opens the door is none other than Sudako. This is the bar that works in, and now he finds himself in a weird situation where he doesn't even know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe to Manhwa GX if you want to watch such videos, and if you want a part 3 of the story, like the video, share it with your friends and let us know in the comments on how much you want it.